The Bengals are in trouble. They took a L to Baltimore 27-24, and this is not an ideal way to start this season. The Bengals started 0-2 last year and went all the way to the conference championship game, but this is 2023, not 2022. Don't know if you've been keeping up with the AFC North, but you look at the Cincinnati Bengals in this division, they cannot afford to get out to a slow start this year. The Cleveland Browns could be a really good team. You can't overlook Pittsburgh. The Ravens look like one of the best teams in the AFC right now. If Cincinnati gets out to, let's say, a 2-4 start, I think it's wrapped for them. I don't think they're going to be able to come back from that. And what makes this situation even more concerning is that Joe Burrow, late in that game against the Baltimore Ravens, re-aggravated that calf. And there's rumors and reports circulating around that he may end up missing 4 games potentially because of this. And the calf injury definitely has kind of hindered his play. Week 1, he played terrible. It was the worst game I've ever seen out of him in the NFL. Then last week against Baltimore, he played better, but he still wasn't himself. And this Bengals offense doesn't look like the same offense that we've seen the past 2 seasons. They aren't really generating a lot of explosive plays. A lot of their damage is coming from the short and intermediate passing game. The offensive line still doesn't look as good as what it should be with the addition of left tackle Orlando Brown. And this defense got carved up by Lamar Jackson and the Ravens wide receivers. Cincinnati doesn't look like a great team right now. It is really early into the season, but this calf injury to Joe Burrow is really concerning. And if he has to miss time, there's a strong chance that Cincinnati, possibly when he comes back, maybe they only have 1 or 2 wins. And getting that far behind with how tough the AFC is and how tough the division that they play in is going to be this year, this is really, really alarming. If you are a fan of the Bengals, man, I don't think this is a team that this season they're going to be able to bounce back from a slow start. And the statistics show that the majority of the teams that get out to an 0-2 start, they don't make it to the playoffs. Their next 3 games are against the Rams, who look really good right now, the Titans on the road, and you already know you can never overlook a Mike Vrabel coach team. They pulled off an upset against the LA Chargers. You got Arizona, which you can win that game. You should beat Arizona. Then your schedule gets really tough in the middle portion of October. You got Seattle, the 49ers, the Buffalo Bills in prime time. You also are going to have to face off against the Ravens, the Steelers, the Jaguars, even the Chiefs late in the year. If Kansas City ends up getting out to a slow start, they can recover because they're in a weak division. Cincinnati's in arguably the toughest division in the National Football League right now. And with how tough their schedule is going to get in the next couple of weeks, they cannot afford to be losing Joe Burrow for any portion of the season, even if he isn't 100%. And maybe Cincinnati should have been a little bit more cautious with how they handled Joe Burrow. Maybe he should have missed the first couple of weeks to make sure he was 100%. I mean, you might as well have benched him if he was going to play the way that he did week 1. He played like shit. And last week he played better, but it still wasn't the same Joe Burrow that we've been accustomed to seeing over the last couple of years. Bengals Nation, you guys should be very alarmed with your 0-2 start this year. Yes, you came back from an 0-2 start in 2022, but this is 2023. The Ravens look really good, and every other team in this division looks really good. And you look at the Ravens and the Browns, they potentially could be Super Bowl contenders, depending on how their season goes. If the Browns can play up to the level of talent that they have,